Yo guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I've got the best 4-4-2 custom tactics in FIFA 23 for you guys. But quick before we do get into today's video, if you aren't around, be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on to miss any more videos on the channel. If you do enjoy it, smash thumbs up and your thoughts on these tactics in the comments below, but jump straight into it right now. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've got a draft set up right now in the 4-4-2 formation with my custom tactics on it. So let's just jump straight into it, no messing about. We're going to come up to the custom tactics. We're obviously going to change this, and I'll go through the instructions as well as my tactics that I do use. So guys, for the defensive style, I don't like any of these, the pressure on heavy touch, the press after possession loss, or the constant pressure. And the reason for this is it just kills your stamina. Within 60 minutes, your players are going to be knackered. You're going to have to make all the changes you can possibly make in the 60th minute. So if you've already made one, you're going to end up with no players with any stamina. It's just going to be an absolute nightmare, which is why I don't like any of those. Drop back can work with certain formations. I don't really like it on the majority of formations, but there is one or two that I do actually run it on. But I just find with a 4-4-2, your team just ends up so far back. You never have anyone going forwards, and you just can't counter attack anyone. So we are going to leave it on the balanced defensive style. So then those left mids and right mids tuck in nicely. They are going to tuck in, fill up that midfield so there's no gaps in the midfield. They can push out wide if they need to, and they're just going to play really well as a team. I like how they play defensively. And then for our depth, we're going to crank this up to around about 56, 57 sort of mark. That's where I like it. Means the team isn't sat too deep. And then, like I say, if we do win the ball back, we can go on that counter attack. We will have players going forwards, and we can create a lot of opportunities off of this. So I have it on 45... So I'm on 40 width and 57 depth, and I just like how it plays. Like I said, it compacts the whole team together. The left back, right back, left mid, and right mid slot in nicely. One will go out if they need to, but they slot in nicely. They're not too deep, so you're going to be really, really deep into your own goal, and you can get that counter attack off when you do win a ball back. But that's what I like to run for my defense. So now guys, for the build-up play, I'm actually going to go with one that is a little bit different to normal. If you guys never watch any of my stuff, I usually run balanced on any of these. However, you might hear me occasionally say that I do like to run the long ball. I don't ever run fast or slow build-up. These two I just never ever touch them really. I've never really tried them too much. But for me on the 4-4-2, a long ball works so well, and I'll show you why this works so well with the instructions I'm about to use. The whole team plays together. You can create a lot of chances, and having that long ball turned on is going to make a lot more chances than if you just leave it on balanced. For our chance creation, we're not going to go for possession or forwards runs. Forwards runs can work well, especially with the long ball. So if you want to try that out, I definitely recommend you do give it a go. The only thing that you will probably find is a lot of your players end up out of position, which is why I don't run them. I end up with no one in midfield. My entire midfield is just running behind. Then I've just completely empty. My left back's bombed, and I've got 3 at the back against their entire team counter attacking me. So I don't particularly run forward runs. But if you guys are good at defending, which I'm not, you might want to run you might want to try the forward runs. Just give it a game, see how you do find it. But we are going to be going for direct passing, which obviously just creates a lot of opportunities. Your players are going to move into a lot of space, giving the options pass that ball into their feet. Then they can ping that ball over the top to one of your players that are going to be running in behind. But the players running in behind should just be your attackers, because we're playing direct passing, and with the way instructions are set up, our centre mids will stay sat back as well, which is going to show you in just a moment. For our width on this, I leave it between about 40 and 50. You can sort of put it anywhere in between this. It depends how wide you like your players to drift. I'm going to have it on around about 45. I like my left mid and right mid being slightly wide, but with the instructions, they're still going to tuck in a little bit as well. So it keeps them out wide, but not too wide, so they're out of the game, but not too central, so they're basically centre midfielders. Almost keeps it pretty perfect for how I like to play. Players in the box, I'm going to bump up, so there's only 3 not selected. Corners and free kicks, I'm going to leave on 3. I know a lot of people turn these down to 2, and the reason for that is, I mean, you don't score too many corners and free kicks in this game. Gives you more options on the edge of the box. However, I just like having it on 3. I like the amount of players that are in the box when I leave it on 3, so that's exactly where I'm going to run that. But if you want to drop it down to 2, try it on there, but I'm going to keep it on 3 like that. But those guys are the custom tactics that I do run. Let's get into the instructions right now. Okay guys, so for instructions, this is where the whole team comes together. We're going to start with a goalkeeper, and we're going to have comes for crosses, sweeper keeper, as we do on every formation. It's just the best way to have it. Your keeper's going to come flying out if a ball goes into the box, catch it, get you on a nice quick counter attack. And a sweeper keeper means if if one of their strikers goes through on goal and there's a long through ball, the keeper's just going to come and sweep it up, so they're not going to go through on goal. Centre backs can be left on completely default. They don't touch anything there. Our left back is going to be stay back while attacking, normal interceptions, mixed attack, and stick to position. And then our right back is going to be a stay back while attacking, normal interceptions, mixed attack, and stick to position. So the only thing we're changing on the fullbacks is stay back while attacking. Now from the midfield and forwards, this is where this formation becomes very, very good, especially for those counter attacks. Like I keep mentioning, this is a very counter attacking formation, the 4-4-2. And the first player that we're going to be talking about, so in our midfield, we want a defensive player and a box-to-box player or an attacking midfielder. This is entirely up to you, depending on how well you can defend. Like I said before, I'm not the best at defending, so I like to have it a little bit more balanced between my defense and my attack. So I've got Gavi there, who's going to be my box box-to-box midfielder, and then Parejo is going to be my defensive midfielder. As you can see on Gavi, I'm going to have it on completely balanced. It's balanced attack, balanced crossing runs, normal interceptions, stick to position, but the one thing I do change is cover center. You need to make sure you got it on cover center, otherwise you're going to end up with a left mid and a left center mid out wide, and a right mid and a right center mid out wide with a massive hole in the middle of the pitch. So make sure you've got your center mid on cover center. Like I said, Parejo is going to be my defensive midfielder, so he's going to be on stay back while attacking. Everything else is on default, apart from, again, the cover center. We want both those midfielders staying in the middle of the pitch. But for me, Parejo is going to slot in. If you guys are really bad at defending and you really can't defend, save your life, have both your midfielders on stay back while attacking. But if you guys are quite good at defending and you can score a lot of goals, you could actually just run two box-to-box midfielders, have them on both balance, so they are going to both get forwards. One will stay back, one will push forwards. They're both going to play that role. But for me, like I said, I want to make sure I do have that one centre mid at least that is going to sit in that hole and stay back while attacking for me, because it just makes my defense play a little bit better. So for our left midfielder, we're going to have on comeback on defense. So he's going to be coming back when defending, because like I said, the 4-4-2 is a counter-attacking formation. You want your players to come back, help win that ball, and as soon as they get it, they're going to bomb on, get a lot of players towards that goal and help you score a lot of goals in the game. So we're going to come back on defense, cut inside, because they're then going to start playing almost as another striker. They're not going to drift out too wide so they're out of the game. They're going to come in, they're going to cut in, they're going to make those bombing runs forward, and it's going to make it so good. Helping with those bombing run forwards is the getting behind support runs. Like I said, so they're now going to cut inside, get in behind. It's almost like you've got 4 attackers up front when you are winning that ball back. So as soon as one of your players wins the ball back, everyone's going to be bombing on from your left mid, your right mid, and both your strikers. They're going to be going forwards, getting in behind, creating those runs, and giving you guys a lot of good opportunities. And then we're also going to have get into the box for crosses, which means they're going to carry on running. They're going to get into that box as fast as they can if a ball comes flying in. If they're already... And if no one's out wide, all they're going to do is make that run, get in behind, create you another option, give one of your strikers some space if they're not going to get the ball themselves, and just create a lot of opportunities for you guys going forwards. Left mid's going to be exactly the same. Come back on defense, cut inside, get in behind, and get into the box for crosses. Just plays really nicely. And then both of our strikers are going to be on stay central and get in behind. However, I do have one striker on comeback on defense. Like I said, we want to be counter-attacking. We want to be winning the ball back and going as fast as possible. So one of my strikers is on comeback while defense, and then the striker that I leave up front is my faster player. He's my more skillful player. In the draft, it's Papin because he's got more pace, so I leave him up front and no comeback on defense, just balanced default defense. And then my Gerd Muller is going to be on comeback on defense, a bit more physical, a bit stronger, can win the ball back a bit better. You can run it on both your strikers on comeback on defense, which does work for a lot of people, but for me, I like to have one player that I know is going to be standing up front, and then I'm going to have one striker that is going to come back and help win that ball back, solidifying the midfield a bit more, so it does almost play as a 5 in midfield rather than just a 4. But those guys are the best custom tactics and instructions for the 4-4-2 formation in FIFA 23. Obviously, your roles are going to completely change depending on who you do have in your squad. This is going to be entirely down to who you guys run and who you guys want to start using. You know, you can change this to whatever you do want. But those guys are the best custom tactics for the 4-4-2 formation in FIFA 23. Like I said, your left mid, your right mid, they're going to play as almost 2 more strikers. So when you do win a ball, you're almost playing like a 4-1-3-2, if you like, because you're going to have one of your players, one of your midfielders as a cam sort of role. Your left mid and your right mid are always going to play as like right wings and left wings right in beside those strikers. And your strikers are going to be bombing in behind. The whole team's going to go flying forwards when you do win that ball back, which is really nice. And honestly, if you guys can start mastering the way to play this 4-4-2, you're going to win so many more games, score so many more goals, and do really well in your foot champs. If you did enjoy the video, smash thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you in the next one in a bit. Whoosh.